Greetings, welcome to What Have I Done? Mr. Siva Superman, oh my goodness. I put bloody sign on upside down. Oh, that is better. That is better. He thought it was for Australian modelers. Steve here at West Green with my alter ego, Man of an Onion, Siva Supermanium. He's station master at West Green. This is part 3 of my Connoisseur Loco kit. I'm part 3 of building the tender. So what I've got here, so far so good. What I've got to do now, this is a great kit, I've got to tell you. Big Jim McGowan, he provides cast white metal flares for the tender, which is actually good because the corners are cast. If you've got normal brass ones, you normally have to put little, obviously you can't flare that way and that way, but you normally have to fill in the corners with solder. Some kits provide like slivers of brass, like fingers, and then you just flood it with solder. But anyway, so these are white metal. So, as some of you probably know, you can't solder white metal to brass with low melt 70 degrees solder unless you tin the brass so that the white metal solder thinks it's soldering to white metal. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got to tin along the inside edge and just down the front a bit all the way round so that I can use low melt solder. I'm going to use Cars number 70 to solder to it. So far so good. I've tinned up around the side. Now I've got to see if I can put this on. I'll change irons. I'm not going to use this. I've got a temperature controlled iron I'll use for that one. So I've tack soldered in one place there, and to make sure it's right, this is the end piece. And that I got that right way up. Yeah. So I know there won't be a gap. So I know that's vertical. So, here's my iron. I've got it set. It's a Duratec. I've got it set to 200. It seems to. I experiment. It doesn't. So I'm just going to flux this up. This is homemade flux actually. It's in a tube pack. I got this stuff from can't think what it's called now. It's a rust converter you get at a hardware store, but I looked at it and it's virtually phosphoric acid, about 60 or 70% phosphoric acid. So I just watered it down 3 to 1 and it works. As you can see, it's melting. If you know how to do it like this. Might need to up the temperature a bit. So far so good. I've got the 2 white metal flares on. Got to put the back one on. This is made a bit over long, so I've just got to trim down both ends, keep test fitting it until it fits in there. As you can see, that just fits in. I had to take about probably a mil off, so I took a bit off each end until it just fits in. So now I'm just going to put this in, flood both inside and outside with solder, and just file it down with a curved file. I've now made up a cold space partition. It's 2 parts. There's a beading on the top, so I just held that in place. Fluxed it, put solder on the edge, loads of flux, let it, and I've filed it. The other thing you've got to do with this is you have to, it's made over wide I should say, so you've got to keep filing with a half round file, keep offering it up until it fits in between the flares. Right, the next part to fit is part 19, which is, it tells you down there what to fit. That's part 19. It's a firearm compartment. it folds up. There's one piece, but it folds up. There's a half edge line, and then there's two small pieces beading, which I've put on. I've already done this, so I've cleaned it all up. I put the beading on. I just held it in place, fluxed it, run solder across the top, and then afterwards I just filed it smooth. That fits. The other thing you've got to do is like this kind of bird's mouth, which fits in against the flare. That fits in there. You've got to solder it. You have to file that back a bit, just a bit, till you make it fit. It's obviously things like that can't be made perfect. There's always a bit of fitting to be done, but it was very easy to do. It took me a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to solder this in now. Blimey, I can't see a thing. What's going on? Ah, got it back to front. Better turn it round. Okay, you've got to have a laugh. Life is just too short. Especially with this coronavirus going around. Or is it Connoisseur virus? Yes, I got that from Ireland. I did. I need some Baileys. No, actually some bottle of Jameson's would be alright, wouldn't it? Eh? So I'll put this on. I'll put on the fire, what do I call them? Fire guard, whatever it is, compartment. Now, I just got out the steps for the front and back. It's not going too bad. No, it's going really well. I'm very, very impressed with it. Anyway, I'll be back. So Monday the 30th of... when is it? Monday the 30th of March. I only started this kit last week. This is for J15 tender. The engine loco I haven't built yet. This is my second Connoisseur kit. Built with J15. So far, I've just been following it. It's like an Airfix kit in a way. All the parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're all marked on the fret, so you just pick the parts and you do it in order. There is minimal instructions, but they're very simple. It just tells you if you've anything special, but very, very easy. So I've done all of that. Everything there is done, including there I've just put the guard irons on, put all the steps on, and all the instructions down to there. So now I've got to do all this, the lamp brackets, buffers, that sort of stuff. I'm just following it. 2 words about Connoisseur kits by Jim McGowan. Bloody brilliant. They are the best kits I've ever built. Yeah, so I'm very pleased. You can tell it's a good kit. It's one of these kits that when you pick it up, you just don't want to put it down. You want to keep building and building and building. Whereas other stuff I've built, I think, God, I wish I'd never bought it. Put it in the cupboard for 10 years, and I've done that before. Anyway, that's where I'm up to. This is the end of whatever part it is. Part 3, yes. Is it part 3? Can't remember now.